Hi, I'm Dave and welcome to my Councillor update for Council's November meeting for next Thursday. A petition has been received from a patron of Luz All Abilities at 5 Sera Street, Lane Cove, requesting accessible parking as well as time parking for pick-up and drop-off spaces in the Sera Street car park. The petition also calls for pedestrian safety, lighting and signage to be reviewed. The solar panel capacity that has been designed and installed on the roof of the Galuwa Recreation Centre currently has a capacity of 200 kilowatts, which is more than enough to cover the energy requirements for the facility. Councillor asked to consider undertaking a study to explore the expansion of this capacity to maximise the roof space, including batteries to generate and export more electricity to other users. Both Queensland and Victoria have recently adopted legislation to address increases in juvenile crime. Council is asked to consider writing to the state government advocating for the adoption of the concept adult crime, adult time in regards to sentencing in New South Wales. The New South Wales state government recently introduced a 3-stage Strata reform package to strengthen oversight and disclosure. However, they do not create direct legal recourse for lot owners against Strata managing agents who fail to carry out delegated duties or comply with owners' corporation resolutions. It is proposed that the General Manager prepare a submission to the Minister for Fair Trading outlining Council's support for the proposed reforms, with specific emphasis on improving accountability, enforcement and owner protection. With the cost of food, rent and energy continuing to rise, vulnerable families are increasingly being pushed into insecure accommodation without adequate safeguards. Discrepancies have been identified between the protections offered to the boarders and lodgers in comparison to tenants. Council is asked to consider writing a submission to relevant state ministers to align the protections of boarders and lodgers more closely with that of tenants. Pottery Green Oval urgently needs its drainage upgrade. The Lane Cove Cricket Club and the Junior Rugby Club have jointly applied for a $25,000 grant to fund the upgrade. However, in the event that that grant is unsuccessful, the two clubs have offered to contribute $15,000, with Council requested to consider matching that amount to fund the upgrade when preparing the 26-27 budget. A report and recommendations into the provision of a preferred food, beverage and event operator for the Galuwa Recreation Centre is presented for Council's consideration. A particular note amongst other funding options, such as Council fully or partly funded, is that Sydney Sports Management Group, the facility operator, issued Council with a letter of intent to make a capital contribution for the purchase of fixtures and fittings to fit out the bistro, outdoor dining, kitchen, cool room and event space. In return, SSMG would seek annual rent plus outgoings indexed at the minimum of CPI annually that may not fall with the successful food and beverage operator. Preliminary cost estimates suggest that SSMG's capital contribution is more than sufficient to fit out the food and beverage space and event space and therein deliver on Council's vision of an exceptional casual dining and event experience at the Galuwa Recreation Centre. Council is asked to consider the report which recommends that the food and beverage preferred operator would be Luso Kitchen. The LEP Sustainability Update recommends that affordable housing and Lane Cove North shops provisions be removed from this document to progress the Sustainability LEP review back to Gateway consideration. There are, however, recommendations presented to be considered regarding what next steps to take to progress affordable housing and the Lane Cove North shops. Some other items on the agenda are: there's an annual community satisfaction survey results report presented to Council. Lane Cove Council draft annual report for for the fiscal year 24-25. There's a presentation of audited annual financial statements for the year ended 30th of June 2025. There's an Audit Risk and Improvement Committee 24-25 annual report. A 25-26 budget first quarter review. The Delivery and Program and Operational Plan for 25-26, its first quarter review. There's a tender for the provision of legal services. Schedule of ordinary council meetings for 2026. A public exhibition for a draft children and family strategy. There's 2 planning proposals that are for Council's consideration. Planning Proposal 45, which is at 170 Pacific Highway, Greenwich. Planning Proposal 44, which is 126 and 130 to 134 Pacific Highway, Greenwich. There's a public exhibition for draft pedestrian access and mobility plan, and there's a traffic committee report for New Year's Eve, traffic management plan and traffic control plan. And don't forget, like I say always, to check out Council's snapshot for October. There's always great information to be found there about Council's previous month activities. So there it is, folks, a quick summary of the agenda for November's meeting. As always, you can contact me anytime via phone or email. Till next time, Dave out.